So, an experience I want to share. There was one period of time, I don't know for what reason, I just seemed to be a little dull. I have no idea what it was. So, normally, when I walk into office, like I'm up, right? I love to keep the energy up. But for there was a, maybe for a couple of weeks, I seemed to be a little dull and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I remember one day when I was going back home, there's a Wake Up Sid movie. There's a song, few songs, Wake Up Sid, Kya Karu, there's songs, okay. So I remember listening, both those songs played. And then when I got out of the car, when I started walking towards the lift, there was a spring in my step. And I said, hey, this is different. So what I did was, I got the songs, and when I went to office and when I came back, I would just listen to those 3-4 songs. And immediately I could notice the difference, because when I'm walking to work in office, when I'm back, the song's playing in my system. How many of you experience this? You start the morning with a song in your head, the whole day the song's in your head. Even if it's a song you don't like. Now, so we can use our thoughts, our self-talk, the pictures, we can use our body, we can use the environment. And I find music a very, very powerful way to alter and change our state. Now, Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is the quality of your state. The states that you're good at getting into, the more up states that you can get into, your life will be consistent with that. So, there's one thing that I took from Tony Robbins, and it's a very, very simple thing. It sounds too simple, but I think it's one of the biggest gifts that I've received, and that is to, let's say I found myself being at a 6 or a 6.5. I started consciously operating at a 7.5, 8. That's all. That's the one shift that I did. And I started seeing magic in my life. And that's what I'd invite you to do. Whatever you're doing, just lift your state by that much.
How do you shift that state?
So one is to be conscious of the body, walk a little faster. Okay. The other one is that I'd create the environment in such a way that, one thing I realized that when I was younger, the moment I woke up, I would go and switch on music that I liked. And that song would just be in my head. As I started growing old, especially when I started going to office, that habit stopped. And it was a little dry. So now what I do is I ensure that I may not hear the music on the outside as much, but it's playing on the inside. So that's one thing that works for me. I talk to people that I really like. So there are certain activities that when you and I do, yeah, it just keeps us in a good state. Now, how quickly can we change our state? In a heartbeat. Now, when we are in a good state, so this is again coming back to what you had asked. When we're in a good state, when somebody says something, it won't touch us as much. Yeah. And the response was immediate. Yeah. And would you say you were in a pretty good state at that point of time? Yeah. And that's all. So if, let's say, all you did was there, just a higher level of state. I call it upness. We'll do it after we break. We have tea and coffee. I'll come to you. You want to say something? Any of you working with salespeople, like training salespeople? You're training salespeople? Okay. A lot of salespeople are focused on learning techniques and the closing, how do you close, and so they want to learn the skills. While that is important, the best salespeople are people who get into that state. So if you're training salespeople, train them on state.